Welcome to a 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. This game is going to be Pinyrx versus CaptainSPrice. Pinyrx playing as Fortifications Doctrine on the left, CaptainSPrice as U.S. Forces. No commander selection yet. On the right, we do have Airborne Recon and Rifle Company. So, should be interesting. CaptainSPrice supposedly is trying out a new strategy against OKW where he goes Recon and then double Pathfinders to try and destroy Tier 4 structure into bazookas with Scott support. Kind of an interesting build. I have not seen it work yet. Maybe it does this game. I don't know. We'll find out. Riflemen move to engage here in the center against some Folks Grenadiers. They'll secure building control. SWS does not move to make any aggressive push maneuvers.
Point's ours. Area's ours.
Sturm Pioneers try and make an ambush across this open ground. They don't have to close very much ground. After reloading, they will make a second burst with only 2 men remaining, and it looks like they win the engagement. If narrowly. Try to gun down the squad on retreat, bringing it down to only 1 man remaining, and they will be able to secure control of the munitions down here, while rear echelon troops take the strategic point. Here in the north, Folks Grenadiers take the munitions, and these riflemen grab the strategic point over here as well. And rear echelon troops are going to grab this strategic point as well.
Squad, get ready. Reinforcements in. They got us zeroed in here.
Riflemen taking control of the munitions. And rear echelon troops will continue taking this cutoff. Folks Grenadiers on their flank. Looks like they will be forced to retreat. So far, just 3 Folks Grenadiers into Mechanized Regiment headquarters from Pinyrx. Pretty standard stuff. No battle group though, so he's going to be relying on what I assume to be a flak half-track this game. And 2 squads of riflemen from CaptainSPrice are making their way towards the south. CaptainSPrice going with 4 squads of riflemen rather than 3 means he's probably not, well, definitely not going to be rushing an M20 this game. But he is going into a lieutenant, so we'll either see an AA half-track from him or just a strong core of infantry into tanks, or maybe a Greyhound if he does choose Recon. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Last time I talked to him, he said he was going to be trying out Recon, so I'm assuming Recon. But last time I was watching him stream, his Recon support build was like not working at all, so I don't know if he's still going to be trying to make that work or not. That being said, he hasn't chosen Rifle Company yet. Oh, there it is, Recon. Okay, yep, he's gonna try to do Recon. He doesn't have access to Pathfinders yet until he gets to 2 command points, but that is actually like super early access to heavy artillery. 2 command points for Pathfinder artillery is a really powerful feature of that commander. Riflemen at range are able to bring down those Folks Grenadiers and force them to retreat, but they do decap the fuel point, at least for now. But the Allies here in the south have managed to secure control of this fuel point, and might wipe that squad! What is it doing? That's a dead Folks Grenadier squad for sure. I wasn't monitoring that, and it gets wiped. MG-34 inside of this building will try to create a zone of protection around the center. We do have forward observer riflemen here in the... How far does that see anyway? Is that like a significant boost? Pretty far. It's not like amazing. They can't see like way all the way to the house or anything, but I guess it's something. Flak half-track has hit the field and is making its way to this area to try and force retreats from these riflemen. This is Vet 1 squad over here, so it will pose a moderate threat to that flak half-track if it can get in range, but it looks like Sturm Pioneers have done a nice job of screening that. both squads will be forced to retreat without any real damage inflicted on the half-track or the machine gun in the building. This squad of rear echelon troops moving around the south to get some harassment done has taken this strategic point, and map control is not looking great for the OKW right now, but as long as he can hold on to this one victory point, he should be in a pretty okay position. Stern Pioneers taking control of this strategic point.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be.
May threaten to wipe this squad on retreat. Yeah, there they go. No chance. No chance.
They got wiped out.
Lieutenant is engaging. Folks Grenadiers a short range. Pretty good engagement for the U.S. forces here, but he will be forced to round the corner by that grenade. Still, wins the engagement. I'm not entirely sure that retreat was necessary by the 5-man squad, but...
Let's get her going!
A capture point is under attack.
CaptainSPrice does win. He gets a much-needed victory right there. And look at that, 5 rifleman squads. And he's clearly bolstering his infantry numbers to the maximum possible extent because he's getting bazookas and he really needs a lot of anti-infantry firepower in the form of just more infantry, but that obviously hurts his ability to tech. He's going with a very low-tech build here.
Enemy contact! Where are they coming from?
Now that he has bazookas on these 2 squads, he should be able to combat this flak half-track, but it's set up outside of his field of view. This could be a bit of a finicky engagement. Looks like nothing too catastrophic happened for either side. Flak half-track disengages, and the Stern Pioneers not being available to repair does make a significant difference in how the next engagement might go. What's it doing?
Crowd's taking pot shots at us!
What the hell am I meant to do with Greyhound? Ready for action.
Not a good engagement. Flak half-track must disengage. Fortunately, CaptainSPrice did not vault that wall. If he had vaulted that wall immediately after firing his first volley of bazookas, he might have been able to destroy that flak half-track by chasing it down. But he didn't do anything too aggressive. Flak half-track manages to get away. Bazooka squad here gets a 2 lucky snipes on Folks Grenadiers, and will win that engagement. And we'll try to take control of the south victory point now. And squads here
All done over here.
are going to get some healing done on an ambulance. And since purchasing 5 rifles, a lieutenant, and an ambulance, I don't think CaptainSPrice has made any other purchases. And as far as squad wipes, only 1 Folks Grenadier squad has gone down so far. So manpower situation is not terrible for Pinyrx, but he is a little behind. But he's got 500 in the bank with which to try and turn that back around.
We're losing a capture point. Our supply line's cut. German
Lieutenant is
torpedo
taking
push.
control of this fuel point. This squad of riflemen is going to get control of that munitions.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well,
Don't ease
grab your
off.
shit and
Cover
follow
the
me.
approaches. Frag grenades now available for action.
I saw 5 squads get cut down right where they lay when the panic came.
And here comes the Tier 4 structure from Pinyrx. Once that constructs and he starts fielding Oversoldaten, bazooka riflemen are really going to struggle. 3 of these squads have been equipped with... 4 have been equipped with bazookas. Just tons of bazookas with which to try and swarm this flak half-track. Plus a captain. And that thing just got nailed with an anti-tank rifle grenade. If he can't screen that half-track with machine gun fire, it's probably going to go down here. Smoke is being deployed on that machine gun, which will force it to reposition. Fortunately, there is another one in this house, laying suppressing fire down on these squads. And the captain does not have access to on me, so he cannot sprint towards that flak half-track, which will continue to try to get to safety rather than setting up, since I think it's only 1 bazooka hit from death. Either that or 1 or 2. The smoke successfully screens these infantry advance, and he does pop on me as soon as he hits Vet 1. Fortunately, the Tier 4 structure has completed over here, so I don't think he's going to be able to push any further and destroy that flag half-track, but he continues to force retreats, force repositioning. But the flag half-track will turn to fire on those infantry as they round that corner, getting some really nasty hits on that squad and forcing it to retreat, but the machine gun will make it to safety for now. Captain takes up a position inside of the building, but I don't think he has a line on the flak half track itself from inside. Oh yes, he does, and he is firing. Bazookas are going to start pounding away at that thing. Stern Pioneers complete repairs on the flag half track and will begin repairing this Tier 4 structure, which has been brought to half health with just bazooka fire. He should easily be able to finish this thing off with Pathfinders if he fields them, but he's spent all of his munitions on bazookas instead. Flag half-track moving up the screen will force a retreat from that squad, and the lieutenant will have to move up to try to finish the job. Captain is falling too low to continue engaging, though. CaptainSPrice recovers his bazooka. Wow, huge burst from that flag half-track. I don't even know if he's going to get away. Under Folks Grenadier fire, no cover. Some yellow cover here. That volley completely missed, and the lieutenant miraculously survives. That was very close engagement. Meanwhile, riflemen are harassing a little bit in the north. Some squads are going to be sent to the south to try and get that under control. And look how close CaptainSPrice was to destroying this with just bazooka fire. Oh, he dropped his bazooka again. I thought he recovered it. Apparently he just dropped it back on the ground. I think depending on where his camera is and what angle he's using, Pinyrx may not see that bazooka. He's got to pan over a little bit to see that. Probably hasn't noticed it.
Krauts have cut our supply line. Frontline units are being hung out to dry.
Let me check the lieutenant. Does he have a bazooka right now?
Listen carefully.
No, the lieutenant does not. He picked it up, but when he fell back down to one man, he must have dropped it again on the retreat. So it's just sitting there right behind that house, and the OKW is securing a lot of map control and is making his way forward to try and defend the American cutoff. And that flak burst pins down the captain and deals significant damage to these infantry squads. He will utilize on me to grant immunity to suppression and try and swarm. He has 4 bazookas maybe in this group, or just 2. He's only got 2. It's not enough. Black half-track will get to safety after suppressing this blob and dealing significant damage. And it's now up to Vet 2. CaptainSPrice clearly having a lot of difficulty swarming this thing, and the Tier 4 structure is about to be fully repaired as well. Meanwhile, Obersoldaten have been fielded here in the south and will be more than enough to force retreats from what various infantry CaptainSPrice has down here. Still no squads wiped, but he's taking really nasty manpower bleed. And has fielded himself a major now. He did go with all 3 officers with this particular build. No Pathfinder artillery though, unfortunately. I really do think if he had fielded a squad of Pathfinders, instead of getting this many bazookas, he probably could have destroyed that structure. Since he didn't do that, there's going to be 2 squads of Obers on the field. And he's going to have to start contending with them, which may prove to be difficult. Thanks for following. Blisonez 420. I'm sorry that I can't pronounce anybody's name at all. I'm sure I was not even close to whatever, however that's pronounced. Oh no! Here comes an even bigger blob charging the flak half-track. 3 bazookas out of 4 connect. If the 4th one had hit, it would have actually gone down right there. On me being used to glorious effects to negate suppression and just blob straight toward that thing, but it's not really working. He's taking huge manpower bleed and he has yet to wipe or destroy anything. And clearly bazookas are not really getting that much done against these Obers here. More Obers moving up to counter and an MG-34 doing the same.
Contact! Infantry! Taking fire!
I can't believe CaptainSPrice is managing to preserve these squads. Look how low they're falling. Retreats them at the last possible second. I think he's gotten a little bit lucky a few times.
Full strength. The cavalry reinforcements in.
We're losing a capture point.
CaptainSPrice is going to have to make a pretty dramatic impact with his first tier 4 unit.
Task complete.
He's got the fuel for a Scott now. If he waits for a Sherman, he could definitely hunt and destroy this half-track and potentially also Obersoldaten. Vet 3 on the half-track now.
Just lost a unit.
And finally, we see a squad wipe. It was rear echelon troops, though, not anything here. Wow, look at this carnage, though. Did he even kill anything? He killed 2 guys on an MG34 crew and, like, lost 10 or more models of his own, plus a rear echelon squad got wiped.
Capture point is under attack.
What the hell?
This situation is just getting more and more out of his control as he vets up these obers, and this half-track is now vet 4, which makes it extremely, extremely problematic. If he doesn't get a tank on the field and clear that thing out, I don't really think there's any chance of his infantry surviving. Big push by the infantry now, making its way toward... Ooh, he might actually be able to make something happen here. Booby trap just... Oh, it just moved! Oh no! What is it doing?
Overrun.
Oh, that's just tragic. Squad of Obers gets wiped too and drops an MG34. I'm not sure he could have played that situation any worse. Booby trap inflicts some casualties but does not wipe a rifle squad. Lieutenant's dead though. Not sure how the lieutenant died. He died at some point, probably during this mess.
Under fire!
CaptainSPrice's manpower bleed thus far has been absolutely brutal. He has bled so much. So, not in a great situation in that regard. He is fortunate in that he just wiped that squad of ogres, though. That is a significant victory. And stealing an MG34 obviously is a huge equalizer in the infantry late game. Counter grenade from those Volksgrenadiers will force a retreat from that squad, but CaptainSPrice has inflicted some losses. Managed to get some territory back under control up here.
Who's got eyes on the shooter?
Field promotion! I need cover! We're getting plastered over here!
Grenade being tossed, counter grenade towards them, smoke grenade in fact. And it looks like this rifle squad will probably have to retreat. These two are still in pretty good condition. Flank coming through from the north will apply further pressure to the Stern Pioneers in this building, and I think the OKW player may want to start taking a different approach since he's starting to struggle in engagements around this house. On me from the captain to help the accuracy a little bit on these riflemen. And we'll force a retreat from the Stern Pioneers in there. CaptainSPrice will definitely need to get some territory back under his control, though, because even though Pinyrx went with all 3 tech tiers and a flak half-track, he's going to have the fuel for a Panther right now. And he is activating fuel transfer, hurting his munitions a little, but he's got 2 Panzerschrecks and a stolen bazooka, so... Actually, 3 Panzerschrecks and a stolen bazooka. So his anti-tank situation is fine. He can easily afford to throw on fuel transfer because he has just huge map control right now. So as soon as he's got the manpower for that Panther, CaptainSPrice will be forced to contend with it. And although he has a huge amount of bazookas, a Panther can be difficult to take out regardless. Oh no, he just dropped another bazooka to his opponent. Don't lose that MG34. Rifle squad gets away, still has the MG34 in their possession. Captain will be forced to retreat as well.
Well, Grab your shit and follow me.
CaptainSPrice, rather than continuing to fight for this territory up here, looks like he's sending all of his forces straight through the middle. He will be forced to contend with this MG34 in the house, but he does have smoke grenades with which to do so. Smoke grenade deployed towards the building. He does get suppressed. Captain is not available for the usage of on me.
Stick with me and you
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
area secured!
Grenades being tossed over the wall will deal minor damage to those obers, but they're inflicting massive casualties on those riflemen. Full squad just got wiped. Another grenade getting tossed somewhere, I think.
CaptainSPrice here. Sherman ready.
Maybe not. Heard them yell grenade. Oh, smoke grenade. Smoke grenade being deployed on that BAR. Just, I guess, to try and lessen the damage from those overs a little bit, but he's taking huge, huge casualties. MG34 squad making its way up here just wiped these Volksgrenadiers, though, off screen. I didn't even see it happen, but he had 3 squads of Volksgrenadiers. That was the one with the bazooka, too, the stolen bazooka, so that actually is a pretty significant victory for CaptainSPrice, despite his push here in the middle getting horribly shut down by those Obersoldaten. He does wipe 1 squad of Volksgrenadiers up here, start taking control of this fuel back, and he has got a Sherman on the field. Fortunately, his opponent is bleeding just enough manpower that he hasn't been able to purchase a Panther yet. But it looks like he's just going to go straight for King Tiger. Yeah, he would have purchased a Panther by now if he were going to, and he's had such good map control and such good fuel reserves that he's going to have a King Tiger by like the 25-minute mark, as soon as he has the manpower for it. Sherman moving up to engage various squads.
Taking fire! Objective secured!
And it will pull back for repairs. Again, there's only 2 Volksgrenadiers on the field right now, although I guess there is a bazooka floating around in here somewhere. Yeah, there's one. Oh, and he did actually recover the one that was by this, hidden behind this house. So, smattering of anti-tank infantry over there on the left side. Still a little bit of, actually a pretty decent amount of bazookas over here, and the stolen MG34. So, in a kind of funny way, they have exchanged all of their weapons and kind of leveled the playing field a little bit. But a bazooka army is still not going to do a whole lot to this King Tiger once it hits the field. It is in production now. Had to float a bit of manpower and delay the reinforcement of his overs. But once that arrives, CaptainSPrice is really going to struggle.
Rear echelon squad ready for action. Contact! Get down! We're taking lead over here!
What do you mean show how to crush infantry? You just drive towards it with your tank. It's not like...
Capture complete!
We're losing a capture point.
Well, you mean like the super fine nuances of how to micro it? There's no really like super reliable way to wipe squads. It's kind of a combination of luck and micro. Mostly luck. Also, it's a lot easier if the tank is super fast. Like a Vet 2 Sherman is a lot better at crushing than most tanks in the game.
Fuel stores complete.
King Tiger's not done yet, and since he's had to make a full retreat from this position, it looks like this bazooka blob might actually take out the tier 2 structure here.
Keep the pressure up!
Hit him with the coax!
We're taking lead over here! Contact! Enemy MG!
High explosive rounds will take a lot of Folks Grenadiers out, forcing retreats, and it looks like the Tier 2 structure is going to be destroyed. Ooh. Almost wiped a squad there, not quite though. King Tiger finally arrives though, not in time to save the battle group headquarters, but inflicting a lot of damage on this retreating clump. If it gets another long shot off, it could be big. Aw, not quite. Takes out one rifleman, but miraculously no squad wipes on either side. So much manpower bleed on both sides though. Tier 2 structure's been destroyed, that's the main thing. But that's not as significant a victory for CaptainSPrice on this map as if it were like Simoski or something like that. He wasn't really utilizing it as a forward retreat point, wasn't really utilizing it for much of anything. In fact, he doesn't even need it for healing for any of his squads except for the machine gun Sturms and these Ogres. Every other squad he has can heal on its own.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well, grab your shit and follow
All
me.
done over here.
CaptainSPrice has thrown a couple of fuel caches up here in the back with a fresh squad of rear echelon troops to try and bolster his tank production. He has only one Sherman right now, and until
Tank destroyer is ready for action.
that fuel income kicks in a little bit, he's not going to have that much of a force with which to take on that King Tiger. But having a lot of bazookas definitely helps discourage the King Tiger from getting too aggressive and hunting down and killing your own tanks. So this Jackson, if it can maintain a long range against that King Tiger and get some lucky shots off, should be something with which he can at least do a little bit of light damage to that KT. He needs to make sure not to get too close though.
Supply line just got cut off.
That is so dangerous. That was the tightest clump I've ever seen. It takes one King Tiger shot to wipe your whole army if you're gonna clump that hard. Ooh, nice pickup by that Sherman right there. Wipes the an Obersoldaten squad. It wasn't the vetted squad, but still. That hurts. CaptainSPrice is moving all of his forces in one clump right now. Mostly because if he doesn't, he won't be able to win any engagements. Lone rifle squads don't really stand a chance against super high vet OKW infantry, or obviously the King Tiger, so he's just doing what he can to win engagements at this point. He lost one of his fuel caches already, sadly. This one's still standing, but he has no territory. And is one undefended point away from being triple capped, not to mention Pack 43 going up over here. King Tiger supported by Pack 43 is virtually impossible for US forces to take on without doctrinal solutions, but fortunately CaptainSPrice has doctrinal solutions. He does have INR Pathfinders available to him, and if he can get his munitions up a little, he will have Pathfinder artillery with which to clear and destroy both this building and this Pack 43, potentially Tier 4 structure. But it's a lot of munitions to start taking out all of those priority targets, most of which has been sunk into bazookas and probably also the 50 cal on top of this Sherman. Or not, in fact, so that would be 70 more down the drain if you want, well, not down the drain, but spent. If he decides that's something he wants to help him out a little bit against his opponent's infantry. Pack 43 reveals itself, gets a huge hit on the Jackson right there, which will have to disengage. So now that this thing is creating a zone of protection around that King Tiger, it's going to be very difficult to assault. There's a machine gun and King Tiger defending against infantry that want to close the gap to destroy this thing, and the Pack 43 will screen against any tanks. Squads making their way towards the north. They've at least stopped, actually, the clock here, taking control of the VP. Folks Grenadiers move to take control of the south VP and start the clock ticking again. CaptainSPrice has split his forces to look for opportunities somewhere on the map. He obviously can't make anything happen here with a giant blob. It's just going to get shut down by the King Tiger Impact 43 combo. Can stop almost anything. Nice damage from the HE shells. Will force a retreat from that squad. Pathfinders providing vision get caught and will be forced to retreat. All bazooka shots are going to get deflected by the King Tiger's frontal armor. And that squad evaporates. King Tiger taking shots at these tanks is whittling them down. Jackson has yet to penetrate. Come on, Jackson. Land the shot. Another bounce. 3 in a row. Jeez. That hurts. These two squads should be able to chase away that lone infantry squad and get some territory under control here. Hopefully force a response by some OKW units and relieve pressure in this area. Obersoldaten taking up position inside of this house will probably force this rifle squad to retreat. LMG is going to do very heavy damage to them. Grenade goes into the building though. This building's pretty resilient. It takes a lot of grenades to destroy it, so. Wow.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out. Point secure.
CaptainSPrice did such a good job keeping his squads alive this game, with a combination of retreat timing and luck, to be honest. But his luck has run out, and that King Tiger is just wiping full squads left and right. Sturm Pioneers get wiped there in the north because they're not being monitored. And now that a second Jackson has arrived, they still have barely even scratched this thing. HE shell does huge damage to those Volksgrenadiers though, will force them to retreat. Jacksons are trying to pull back and continue firing on that King Tiger, but all shots are bouncing. Finally, one penetration brings it down to a little bit above half. Man. I have never seen so many Jackson shots bounce. There we go. Finally, armor-piercing rounds from the Vet 2 Jackson there will apply a little pressure to that thing and make it retreat. That was a really brutal engagement for CaptainSPrice, though. I don't think I've ever seen a King Tiger get that many bounces. I wish my King Tigers had had that much luck. I mean, Jacksons are pretty good, they're just inconsistent. That is unusual. That's not a typical engagement against a King Tiger. I've never seen a King Tiger take so much sustained fire, even at range. That is not the norm.
Squad ready for action.
Because their damage is huge when it does penetrate. CaptainSPrice has earned himself a little bit of relief from that King Tiger, and fortunately for him, his opponent keeps letting his infantry squads get wiped. Various locations on the map. He's got to spend some manpower to reinforce these now. He let his Sturm Pios die to the stolen MG-34 squad, which fortunately CaptainSPrice still has. This thing is the only gun in his army that is really going to be able to help him compete at this stage of the game. He's got 2 squads here in the south just kind of defending these points. He can't, I guess he just can't take control of this cutoff right now. And as long as the victory points are taking in his favor, he's in a pretty okay spot. But he
Task complete. Crew ready.
could definitely use more munitions. He really needs to get that munitions control back so that he can drop artillery with those pathfinders. Right now he's just utilizing them for vision so that he can apply pressure to that King Tiger from range with his Jacksons, and there's actually a second King Tiger in production right now.
Sherman, taking fire!
I'll be right back. I had to sign something. Got a package. Okay.
Send your orders.
King Tiger's moving up to re-engage. Already, see, already the engagement's not going nearly as well for it. Because a Jackson shot penetrated. And of course he can make it much more likely that he will get penetrations with armor-piercing rounds. Look at that damage! Brought down to a little bit over half after 2 volleys. Moves up for another volley with those armor-piercing rounds. He is destroying that thing. Beautiful engagement for CaptainSPrice. He could literally destroy it. He allows his Sherman to be destroyed by anti-tank infantry here. He thinks that this is worth it, though. We'll chase the King Tiger and take it out with some lucky shots. There you have it. In one engagement, Jacksons do almost nothing. In the next, a King Tiger just evaporates. No wonder nobody in this game can agree on balance.
Keep your silhouette down.
We're getting chewed up here!
The Germans just cut off our supply lines.
If somebody goes on the forums and says Jacksons are underpowered, and somebody else goes on the forums and says they're overpowered, they're probably both right.
Points remaining.
They're probably both right. Fortunately, there's a second King Tiger on the field because, again, CaptainSPrice's map control has been just awful. So bad. And the game has run pretty long, up to 37 minutes now. And this thing walks into the base, wipes another infantry squad. Vet 3 Jackson, though, gives it that huge rate of fire. King Tiger moving up to continue taking out priority targets. Nails an ambulance. Jackson can't quite get a line on this KT safely here. And now it's going to disengage. It needs a screen, though, or it's going to get taken out. And the only anti-tank infantry is currently in the base. That Jackson can chase this King Tiger all day. Gets a little too close there, though. Shot will bounce. Armor-piercing round still on cooldown. Jackson wants to keep chasing, and that's why you don't send a King Tiger in unsupported. You don't want it to get chased to death by a heavy anti-tank weapon with longer range than you. Sternpine, well, or no, just Mechanized Regiment headquarters repairing this KT slowly because he let his Stern Pioneers get wiped earlier by the MG-34 rifles. His repair power is somewhat limited and he needs to make these engagements count. He has destroyed one of the 2 Jacksons. CaptainSPrice actually feels sufficiently comfortable now to purchase a Sherman rather than further Jacksons to take on that King Tiger. He's got some riflemen set up here in this green cover. MG-34 riflemen engaging Obersoldat, and even though they have the MG-34, we'll still lose this because the vet bonuses on Obers are so much better. Look, that engagement wasn't even close. They haven't even taken damage. The riflemen brought down to half health after 3 bursts.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Reinforcements in.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Sherman's on the field. Should be hopefully sufficient to chase those Obers away. Booby trap is being thrown down on the fuel point. Grenade misses up here. Folks Grenadiers should, Vet 5 should win against unvetted riflemen easily enough. Sherman gonna try to chase those Obers to death. Brings them pretty low. Kind of a late retreat, oddly late retreat. They will around the corner and should be okay. Stolen bazooka plus 2 Shreks brings the Sherman down to about half. It's gonna have to pull back. Sherman pulls back for some repairs. The King Tiger finally has been fully repaired. CaptainSPrice is actually floating a lot of manpower and munitions now. I think he's trying to keep his munitions stored up so that he can utilize armor-piercing rounds whenever he needs to. Not being super liberal about dropping artillery on priority targets, but I feel like if you were to move up and drop artillery on this position, that could definitely open up some opportunities to try and get the center victory point back under control. But I guess he would rather continue to fight for the fuel and VP up here just to slowly tick his opponent down for now. Booby trap almost robs him of his desperately needed MG-34. That could have been just devastating. So lucky that that's getting away with that tiny sliver of health. Personally, Mist of Wonder, I don't think bazookas should be any better. I could maybe see a cost reduction, but if bazookas were better than they are now and became like the new, like, it would be even easier to blob rifles with bazookas than it currently is to blob Folks Grenadiers with Panzer Shreks. Just walk a giant blob of rifles toward enemy tanks and blow them up. That being said, Axis have a lot heavier tanks than Allies do, which is why the problem is sort of goes both ways. So I could see a small buff, but I think they perform pretty okay. They're just a little on the expensive side. Since they are very effective against all Oster Tier 3 vehicles, effective against all light vehicles. It's just against heavy tanks where they do almost nothing. And even on the rear armor they sometimes do nothing, and that can definitely be frustrating. Sherman's trying to apply some pressure to these Folks Grenadiers, sticking around in this engagement for kind of a long time. Really threatening. Whoa, what is this? IR half-track, really? That's just rude. IR half-track and then infantry support gun. Wow, we're gonna see some really weird late-game purchases from Pinyrx here. Good for him, though. I like the fact that he's like semi-adapting to the situation, I guess. Not just gonna keep spamming KTs. I don't know what I think about that. It's pretty amusing. CaptainSPrice is playing very patiently. Continues to just work on victory points, and not even all three simultaneously. Just takes the North VP and the South VP continuously over and over again, and spends all of the rest of his attention on engaging with his tanks, just trying to turn the manpower game back in his favor, which he clearly is a long way from doing. Well, actually, okay, that's not true. He just dropped the paradrop combat group, which is why his manpower is so low, but Pinyrx has 750 in the bank, so... Really, this Vet 5 Obersoldaten squad is a huge problem. I think CaptainSPrice needs to prioritize taking that out above all else, because look at that. It almost wiped a full rifle squad on retreat. They retreated like as soon as they saw those Obers, and you can see the trail of bodies. This is how much time it takes for a Vet 5 Ober squad to like take out one model of a retreating rifle squad. Hopefully Thompsons will help win engagements a little bit. Volksgrenadiers will have to retreat. Might even be, maybe, close to getting wiped on the retreat here. I don't know. Our Vet 5. Sherman shot! Big Sherman shot! Oh, there go his Pathfinders. No more vision.
Pathfinders reporting in.
Bazooka sitting on the ground. I guess they can't recover that even though they've only got 3 Thompsons. Oh well. He also got some bazookas on his paratroopers up here.
Pathfinders on station and ready for action. We've been promoted.
Ooh, nice grenade. That squad could go down if it gets a lucky hit. Oh, so close. This is why you need that 50 cal. The 50 cal would definitely have well, not definitely, but helped. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's that King Tiger doing? It's exposed its rear armor to the Vet 3 Jackson. Look at that rate of fire. Penetration is pretty much guaranteed at this range. That thing is done. Wow. Huge mistake. No, no! He got too close. The Vet 3 Jackson, what's he gonna do? He needed that thing. Fresh King Tiger is making its way onto the field now. Oh, man.
Reinforcements in. Welcome to the
Nothing sours a big victory like losing your
just make it.
losing your Vet 3 Jackson immediately afterward to a Pack 43 in the back.
Ready for action.
But I guess the manpower game is kind of tipping back in CaptainSPrice's favor now. He's worked his way back up to 4 rifles, these 2 Paris squads, got a fresh squad of Pathfinders on the field. His opponent's still working on not very many squads of infantry because of his decision to invest 400 manpower into this thing. I don't even know what this costs. Only 200 manpower for this. That's not that big of a deal. At this stage of the game, that's barely a dent in your resources when you've made 3 King Tigers. 3rd KT rolling up to the front line.
The capture point is under attack. Point captured. Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push.
Pack 43 is still up there. He really needs to not drive into that thing's arc of fire anymore. This bunker's actually proving to be quite a nuisance. All of his infantry that he tries to move up just gets pinned down. He cannot harass this fuel, but I think we're finally going to see that artillery strike called down. He's out for revenge. He's permitted this thing's existence this long, but now that it killed his Vet 3 Jackson, it's time to destroy that thing. He kills 2 birds with 1 stone there. He angles the artillery a little between the 2, and it actually works. Destroys the house, and oh, thank you, Love Nest. How kind. And destroys the Pack 43 right there. Nice toss. CaptainSPrice a little bit late to dodge that. He does have the MG34 here, though, which is clearly doing all the damage in this engagement. Wasn't paying close enough attention again, and the full squad gets wiped. Now that the Vet 3 Jackson is dead, though, no defense at all against this King Tiger. The Sherman's being repaired way down here. King Tiger's trying to find it and destroy it. Infantry hiding in the back. Jackson's about to complete, though. Depending on where it spawns and how it's utilized, should be able to chase this King Tiger away. Sherman reveals itself to the KT and will start circle strafing it, and all these bazooka shots are penetrating the frontal armor. Look at these miracle penetrations. Jackson smashes the frontal armor. Oh, King Tiger faces through the Sherman. His block failed. His block attempt totally failed because the King Tiger just phased right through it. Sherman is penetrating all of its shots too. Jackson goes up for the flank. Destroyed engine. And another King Tiger that's completely unsupported, by the way, is fed into the maw of the Allied war machine. Oh god, it's abandoned. I think that's probably the game. There's no infantry left here from Pinyrx. I don't know what he's gonna do about this. If this King Tiger falls into Allied hands, that's it. There go the Obers, Vet 5 Obers, after all this time, finally wiped. CaptainSPrice's infantry move up for a final glorious charge. Gonna wipe out the infantry support gun. Vehicle crew repairs critical on the King Tiger and is gonna drive it away. It's got Vet 1 too. Oh no, drive little KT, use Blitz. Alright, it doesn't need to, it's fine, it's fine. And now that Pinyrx knows he cannot recover that King Tiger from his opponent, the game is over. CaptainSPrice will somehow win. Mostly because I think of Pinyrx's inability to preserve his infantry squads. And also because of his insistence on sending his King Tigers all the way into the enemy base completely unsupported. So, good game. Allies win.